Hey, thanks for tuning in to a new episode of Let's Get Fired. Before you jump into the episode today, our guest on the podcast, Aaron Woodall, has a new special on YouTube called Cry For Me Daddy. So before you watch our episode, watch his special. It's on YouTube, Aaron Woodall, Cry For Me Daddy. It's going to be linked in the episode. All right, let's get to it.
You're fired.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Well, let's get now we switch back to the podcast.
Switch gears. Yeah.
And
So
now we're back.
welcome to a new episode of Let's Get Fired. I'm Drew Simon, joined with my co-host Quinn Johnson.
Hey.
And today we got the very funny Aaron Woodall. Dude, I'm very pumped that you're here. We did those shows in Vernal and Rock Springs, Destinations.
Yeah.
And that was probably some of the most fun I've had in comedy. I'd heard your like stand up and stuff, but dude, it was a very fun time.
In Rock Springs, Drew almost got attacked. Did he tell you the story, Quinn?
Yes.
And I was on it from the get-go. I was like very protective of my comic on stage. And I was like, this guy was a problem and he was just whatever, he was shouting stuff. He was very drunk and you could tell he was a problem. And then Drew went into a premise. The premise
Didn't even do the joke.
premise is just like a kid got ran over by a car. That's it. And this guy is like, the fuck? And I was in this dude's face and like pushing him back down into his chair. And then he hit the bar owner in the nuts and then like attacked him, and the bar owner put him in a headlock like this. And I said, let's take him out. I can't remember what I said. I was like, let's take him out. And I just grabbed his legs and picked this man up, and the bar owner had his head. And the second we picked him up, because he was like fighting and all this. Yeah. The second we picked him up off the ground, he was like a baby. He didn't make a noise. He didn't move. He just went limp in our arms.
Dude. Meanwhile, I'm standing on
Calmly
stage,
out to the parking
just
lot.
watching. We just pause, like everyone's just like, and then once they get him out, I'm like, well, I don't know how to like move on from that.
Even in my set, we didn't know how to move. No one knew how to move on.
It kind of killed
every time. So the stage, like on stage right, is the door to the bar, and everyone else is seated like right here. And so every time someone came in to that door, you could hear it, but you couldn't. The people in the audience couldn't see the person immediately. So everyone's afraid this guy's coming back with a gun because he said that he would. And every time we hear the door, there's just like, you're in the middle of a joke or whatever, and everyone in the crowd is like, it's a very difficult way to do a show.
I didn't realize how dangerous the situation was.
He called the bar and made a bomb threat. And said that he was gonna. He said first he said all my friends are coming, and then he said that he was going to put a bomb in there. And I was like, you should pick one or the other of those. I don't think you should have your friends come before the bomb. Yeah.
Dude, also, when you were on stage, there was like some dude who took his seat.
Yes, and then
he was oddly aggressive with you.
Very aggressive with me.
And I'm sitting here because like
he wasn't an old guy. Like the first dude was an old guy that was like, I'll fight this dude, whatever. The second guy was way bigger than any of us. I chickened out immediately. I was like, oh no, sir, you're fine. You're good.
I don't have like the fight or flight reflexes that you do, because how quick you were on that guy was very impressive. And I was thinking it roles reverse. He probably would have got into you.
If I was like, Drew, I really instigate with this beefed up dude. And I'd be like, Drew, get him.
Well,
get him.
After when you were on stage, I was like, well, if something did happen, I would have to jump in, because that's what Aaron did for me. And so this Jack dude is like being aggressive with Aaron, and in my head I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. Like if I have to try to tackle this guy,
this isn't a 1-for-1.
Nah, dude. All I'm hearing is like, you guys were struggling afterwards how to handle that situation. You guys just didn't do enough improv, dude. not enough zip zap zop in your life.
Dude,
Well,
we-
no, so
there was plenty of it.
No, dude, it's the Herald. It's the you just have to follow the improv principles. Dude.
I started with that. Like I opened with just material about the dude, and we're riffing and like everyone's relaxing. And then even as like we go on through the night, like as the doors opening up and like there's awkward moments, I am like breaking that. And then it just became too much. And like I don't know, halfway through my set, somewhere before the end of my set, everything gets weird. Everybody gets super tense. Then the Jack dude shows up and starts shit. And that owner still owes us the security cam footage. He said he was going to give us that so that we could make a viral TikTok with it. And he has not kept up his end of the bargain.
That would be sick. Do you guys?
Because Drew was recording his set.
I
He's
saw
Recorded all your set too.
I saw the clip from the angle from Drew's camera, but you can't see what's happening.
Yeah, the guy
Right.
was in the
But apparently the security cam would have gotten that and gotten the stuff out in the parking lot when we laid him down on the asphalt.
You went on stage and described what happened in the parking lot, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like he talked about like how he felt empathy. He was like, "I'm sorry, man." And then the guy punched the bar owner in the butt. And then Aaron's like, "Fuck
He
you."
laid on the ground like your little brother, and he was like, and I was like, "Stop kicking! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!" And he would like stop for a second, and then start.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, this is man. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I missed this. Sounds like
This
a
was
fucking party, dude.
The show in Vernal was great. The
Oh, it
pay
was
was
fun.
great. The food was great.
I got like $150 in tips.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was. And then I was like, and I was hyping up Rock Springs to him because I'd been there before, and I was like, it's always great. So I mean, like, imagine this is our Friday night, Saturday night's going to be have at least one guy who tries to fight you, and wow, I nailed it.
That's awesome, man. This is what's fun about comedy. You know,
It is.
It's,
It is.
Because
maybe
like,
you'll die.
You get these stories like this wouldn't have happened if I had an office job. You wouldn't be able to go to a fucking dive bar out when I don't know where is that in Wyoming?
Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
hell yeah, man. It's a party.
Yeah.
Well, should we?
Yeah,
should we
let's
ask some
move forward. So
questions?
yeah, if you already kind of know the format of the podcast, we interview you, decide if we think you're a good fit for this fictional job that we have, if we would want you on the Let's Get Fired team. What we'd really value is honesty. We get people on
There's
here.
people trying to do like just too many joke answers, and I'm like, just tell me what's
Really?
Well, yeah, and it's the worst when it's not funny because then they're
Uh-huh.
like, they're trying. They're
and
really
it's also
trying.
because it's unfunny people always trying to make the joke
Whoa,
answers.
dude. Whoa, dude.
Whoa,
Dude.
shots,
I know. Why are you talking so much shit right off the
About your
bat?
guests.
dude. I don't mean that. I
Anyway,
looked back at the camera. I was like, "That's not."
they can't see your eyes.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So we've had people try to ham it up, and I'm like, dude.
Basically, we
tell
want to
me.
know.
I will tell you the truth.
I want to know
Hit me
about.
with
I
some
want
questions.
to know about.
We
Go for
and
it.
Also, it's more than anything. We just want to know if you're fun.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Are you a good hang?
Yeah, we
Yes.
don't want someone who
Yes.
just does their job.
Yeah, that's actually the worst. The worst interviews where the one they're just like, well, everything's good. But we'll always find something. But usually with those people, it's like, I only eat once a day, and like, what do you eat? Like broccoli. And we're like, you're fucking crazy, dude. You're not hired. This other guy was like, I masturbated in my car outside of work, and that was fun. We enjoyed that.
That was fun.
And his mom listened to that podcast.
Interesting.
And then I did.
I'm learning a lot about your guys' team and what you value.
Yeah, yeah. We value like Cheyenne had a band in high school called 24 Strings because they all played guitar, and we're like, that's
That was
good.
Great high
That
school
was
band.
good.
That's a great high school
I'll be going,
band.
"No, that's-
Well done, Cheyenne.
Yeah, like that's you're going up. So, anyways, we're like the honesty's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
Well, then we asked
Okay.
her what her guilty pleasure music was, and she said Nickelback, and that wasn't as fun because it
No,
was
was
just too on the nose.
Oh yeah. Well, she's like, we just learned about Cheyenne that she was exactly who we thought she was, and I thought maybe she wasn't. It was like you were literally the person when you look at you. That's who you are. That was actually shocking, but
Yeah.
fun.
So, what was the first job you ever had?
Papa John's.
Papa John.
I was 14, 15
Ooh.
maybe.
You still a fan of Papa John?
Dude, I walked into a Papa John's the other day and I'm like, it smells just like I remember. This is very
what about
nostalgic.
Papa John himself?
Oh, that dude? I never met the Papa.
You didn't meet John.
I forgot that there was a human associated with it. What did he screamed the N-word
on an earnings call? Yeah, and he said he was coerced into saying it.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
How's the papa get coerced?
Dude, I hate it when that happens. When you're coerced.
Yeah, it's always you, dude.
Yeah.
You're always coerced.
Dude, they always get me. It's
what? No, that's not what I meant.
Take it out of context.
We're talking about pizza sales in the month of March.
I was talking about why that word is bad.
Anyway, Shaq's our new spokesman. Oh, okay, but where at? Was it here in Utah or?
No, it's in Bowie, Maryland.
Ooh.
That's where I grew up. From there, I started vending with this vending company that worked in a bunch of different places. But basically, I walked around with popcorn and cotton candy and snow cones. But in the summer, the main gig was Six Flags.
Okay,
I'd work at Six Flags all summer, and but then he'd also do the minor league baseball team, the Bowie Bay Sox. I'd walk around there and go, cotton candy, get your cotton candy. Yeah, it's very fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
little warming you up for the stand-up life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Showmanship.
You ever feel that come back sometimes on stage?
I've never really drawn that line between those two things until just now, but I think there has to be
something about just yelling into a crowd, and then no one really caring about what you're saying.
No one caring what I'm saying.
So when you first went to open mic, you're like,
"I'm home,
no problem, guys. Not asking for money." Yeah, but that's cool. So that's pretty sick. So just yelling cotton candy. How long did you have that job?
I mean, for the rest of high school, I did that. So every summer I was at Six Flags, and then there'd be random gigs where they get a call from Jeremy. To think about Jeremy now, to think because when you're a teenager, you're this is an adult. Yep. This is the oldest person I've ever spoken to, but he was probably just 30 and out there smoking with teenagers, just passing cigarettes around, being a real cool guy. But you get a call from Jeremy, he'd be like, yeah, there's cheerleading championships at George Mason University. You're working. And so then on Saturday, I'd be selling snow cones to the parents of cheerleaders. Anybody interested?
Oh my God, dude. I it's not quite as bad as that for me, but I work with some college students, things kind of these frat dudes. And it's just, I haven't thought about this in so long, but all these dudes are man, I have to use my fake ID tonight. And they're talking about it shouldn't be 21 to drink. They need to lower it. And I'm like, guys, once you turn 21, you'll never think about this ever again. Ever again. It just seems like this huge problem in your life and it's just gone. Right?
Yeah.
But anyways,
I think we need
it's fun being the older
up
guy.
The age limit. I think we should be 26.
I'm once you turn 21, you're thank God there's no 18-year-olds in here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around them. Dude, I had this guy I work with. These two black dudes walked up it was a good place to drink and party tonight. And I was I don't know, maybe Twist, just might recommend some bars in Salt Lake. And then this kid just goes, definitely Shades on State. And I looked at him, I was like, guys, he's 18. And then they started laughing because you probably saw this on Instagram. But anyways, it was just fun to see
you said that in the last episode, and that story hit just as hard this time.
It did. I don't remember.
I still appreciate the story though.
I don't remember what I said last time. But hey, he's trying to do what I do. Yeah, I usually call everyone out, but that's okay.
No,
I deserve it. I deserve it.
We did a reversal right there.
Thank you.
It was well earned.
I'm so fucking.
The conviction of an 18-year-old or from 18 to 22, it's a thing that I don't feel should be in public. And I think the main problem that I have with TikTok is that you're that adults are confronted with the things that 18-year-olds should just be saying to themselves. When but they're creating all the content. It's them that's making it. And so they're posting all these videos. They're the top 10 greatest catches in NFL history. Yeah. And it only goes back to 2011. Yep. And you're that's crazy that the top 10 all happened. But they're
the Immaculate Reception is not in it.
They're here's a movie you might not have heard of, but it's totally slept on, but you need to check it out. It's called Fight Club. Yeah. And then adults get mad. They're then they're in the comments oh, you don't know. And I'm we shouldn't be interacting. We should be different societies. You need to find a different part of TikTok to occupy.
No, let them discover Goodfellas and talk about how
they need that. That's an important step in all of our lives.
Trey Parker from South Park, he was talking about how his I think it was his his stepson or something was like, remember that old like internet term? It's like derp or something like that. It was something like that.
Sure.
And he was like saying it, like he was like saying that, and he's like, oh, you know where that comes from, right? He's like, Dad, you don't fucking know what this means. He's like, no, I came up with that. And he's like, no, you didn't. And then he looks it up, and it's like the origin South Park. And he's like, and he goes, you don't get it, Dad. He's like, even in that moment, he's like, you're a fucking loser. And he's like, I can't even win that.
I was using little kid terms, and my son was like, Dad, that sounds so wrong. And I was like, did I use it correctly? I'm using it correctly. Am I not? And he was like, yeah, I can't believe you know what that means. And I was like, yeah, I'm on the same internet you are, dude.
Yeah.
I live here.
I see the same young girls you do.
I don't embrace the new terminology, but my 6-year-old nephew was with my dad, and thanks. And they were out golfing in the golf cart, and my dad just flipped a turn real sharp, and my 6-year-old nephew flew out of the golf cart. And he comes to my mom and tells like, Grandma, what? And she's like, what happened? And she's like, I was with Grandpa and I got yeeted. And I was like, what is yeeted?
Hey, dude,
come on, yeeted's been around.
Yeeted is fun.
I never heard this until it came out of the mouth of a 6-year-old.
I know.
Really? Just this year?
This was like last year, but yeah.
Well, I feel like there was. I feel like in 2013 was that like Vine.
It's been around for a long time.
With that Vine of the girl going yeet and she throws the bottle down the hallway. Where have you been, Drew?
Dude, I was never on Vine.
No, he's on Breitbart.
Yeah, dude.
I'm talking about like skibbity toilets, cats.
They're getting rizzed up.
Yeah, these are the new ones I'm learning.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of really fun. That's the thing too. A lot of this new terminology is just fucking hilarious. It's really fun to learn.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Yeah, dude. You know what the gritty is?
I do know what the gritty is because of the NFL.
Yeah,
that's the only reason.
Yeah, that's why you gotta keep learning about this shit. Because all these Gonzaga players you love, this is what they talk about.
I know, dude, and I watch them, and I'm like, oh no, they're like kids.
How do I identify with these young black teens?
Anywho, what's the worst job you ever worked?
My cousin convinced me to sell satellite dish door to door. And, like I got this phone call from him. I think I'm like 18 or 19 or something. And he's like, hey man, I've got the opportunity of a lifetime for you. How would you like to make so much money? And I was like, that's exactly what I want. That's crazy. And he was like, just fly out to Utah and I've got a job for you. And I was like, I can't believe my cousin got me a job. He's so great. Now, then like I went.
Did he pay for your flight?
No. Well, like I sat in like a thing that I was like, oh, this is what Doug sat in. And I got to the part where they're like, call 3 people in your phone right now and sell them on this job. Be a salesman. And I was like, I fucking got. This is so dumb.
Oh my God.
And
sell me this pen.
Yeah, exactly. Is that kind of stuff. Yeah. But it's like targeting return missionaries and pre-Mormon missionaries. And they're telling, and it's weird and gross. And I did like a trial week, and it was like fine. And I had the older bros mentoring the younger bros and like telling you like, you gotta envision the dish on the roof as you're walking in. You gotta see that dish is already up there. That dish is already there, man. And then like you don't take no for an answer because the dish is already up there. And I like my cousin took me into like a home in Sandy, and he was like, I'm just gonna close this so you see. And I kept watching this guy say no over and over, and my cousin just refusing to let him go until he had signed the paper. And I was like, I feel so bad about all of this. And so then I was gonna do it all summer, and I was supposed to make like $30,000 or whatever they promise you.
That's the low amount. You'll make way more for sure. No, this guy over here has 6 BMWs.
It's all crap, and it's all predatory, and it's all bad. And I got out fast. I went down to Cedar City for like another like trial week, and I left on the first day. I looked up Greyhound buses, dude, and I took a Greyhound bus back to Provo, and I was sleeping on my cousin's like apartment floor. Mm-hmm. And so like he wakes up in the morning and I'm on the living room floor, and he's like, what are you doing here? I was like, I quit. I came back.
Dude, my friend had the exact same experience except with like Vivint Solar. He's like bought into it all. get shipped out to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Did it for like 2 days, and he's like, "Yeah, it's all just poor people," and they're like, "You need security or whatever." Like, I think it was security was telling, but he's like, he hopped on a Greyhound, went all the way from there back to Salt Lake.
Damn, dude.
That happened
That's
to
how
me.
much it sucks. Dude.
I feel bad that he had to take such a long ride, but he and I were both correct. You had to get out. My brother did it. My brother got tricked into doing it one summer, and he just went into debt. He went into crazy debt. Didn't make any of the money they say you're gonna make. You end up owing them because it's like the company store mentality with like, we cover we buy you an apartment, but we take that money out of your paycheck. So blah blah blah.
And then if like you could like sell something, but if they cancel it, then it's like you don't get the money. But
and then it's like some people make good money, but it's like the top 1% of like sociopaths.
They're the worst people you've ever met.
Yeah, I got sucked into that after my mission, door to door. What was it? Home security in Louisiana. They sent us to New Orleans, and it was a dude from my mission who I was like friends with. But then like I'm still friends with this guy. Shout out to Nick, but he's a piece of shit. And like he would like, dude, you would make $600 a sale, and if you made 2 sales in a day, they called it a G day. Nick had a G day almost every day for a month. And
way to go, Nick.
Good job, Nick.
But he dragged me out there, and I made 1 sale a month. So. And he didn't share any of it. I couldn't like pay for food, and he like didn't help me out at all.
Hell yeah.
But it was just, they go after ex-Mormon missionaries because they're like, if these guys can sell a religion nobody wants, they can sell this shit. And
what a gross thing to do. And I just hate it. I hated all the stuff, the rhetoric that they would say. And I was pre-missionary, and they're like, this is going to help you so much spread the gospel. You are going to have the skills you need to convert souls to the true restored gospel of Jesus Christ if you just sell direct satellite.
Instead of you imagine that satellite up there. Now imagine that's Captain Moroni. Standing on top of their house. I have always hated it. Like, I've always hated sales. So when I went on a mission, I was like, wait, this is what we're doing? Because I thought we're supposed to be like helping people or whatever. And then it's like, no, dude, you're just going door to door and talking to Scottish people who were abused by priests and don't want to be. It's like I hate it.
It's gross how much it translates, how well those skills translate.
Well, also, if you were good at selling, at least for the company I was with, they'd put you like in rich neighborhoods because like you could sell better. But like I wasn't good, so they only put me in poor neighborhoods in like New Orleans and Louisiana, and Baton Rouge. Oh, that's all Louisiana. But I just got threatened every day. That was just my life for like 2 months. I'd just be walking down the street, and you just see a bunch of dudes like sitting on a stoop, and they see you walking by like in a polo, and they just scream like, "Get your bitch ass moving!" And I would like run.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, "I'm
absolutely."
Like,
I've seen True Detective. I don't need to stick around. It takes place in Louisiana.
My brother didn't do sales. He was like a tech. He did the installs. So he would show up at a place after they did the sale.
Oh yeah.
So you're also like dependent on the salesman. And there's a bunch of techs who are just sitting around hoping every day you have a G day so they can go make their money, right? But he would get there and find out that like the salesman just lied.
Oh,
all the time. And he was like, he felt really bad about it. And it happened all the time. But like sometimes they would directly ask, and he was like, I'm not going to lie. That's what you did. I don't have to do that. So someone was like, so he said it's going to, I forget the details of whatever motion sensor he said was going to be on the window or something. And my brother has to go, no, there is no motion sensor on the windows. And so they say, oh, well, then we want to cancel that. And then the tech like does a U-turn in his car and comes back and is like, no, the salesman does. And like, he's saying about my brother, that tech has no idea what he's talking about. Let me come. I'll come back and I'll re-explain it. And he goes there and he has to be like, this guy is dumb. He's saying dumb stuff. What he said is wrong and what I said is right. And my brother's just to sit there and go like, and then they convinces him. He lies through his teeth, convinces the dude to keep the bad security system. My brother does the install. And then that night he gets into a fist fight with the salesman because the salesman is like, don't you ever fuck fuck with my money again. And my brother just fought him in the
Hell yeah.
apartment. Yeah.
Dude, no, I have a different friend who was the tech guy.
Yeah.
And same shit where it's like, yeah, everyone's just lying. And you have to be like, no, that's not real. And I'm like, what? And he's like, and my friend is like this like super shy guy, doesn't like to talk, and he's like having to like console everyone and be like, no, I'm sorry, I don't know what they said. It's an insane business.
Yeah,
it's
also a
fucking
bad
crazy.
look that like all these companies come from Utah.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. They all come from here,
It's
dude.
not-
Remember Vivint Smart Home Arena? Well, I guess now it's Delta Center.
I'm so glad that we're back to Delta, and it is so funny that
Delta's
like
the best.
that by comparison, we're like finally a company with integrity that we all love and have never been mad at. Thank goodness we've got a real company up there again.
Well, at least it's like we know what they do. You know, it's at least it's like they had the airplane. Like the smart home arena, like I never like, what is that? And then before that it was Energy Solutions Arena, which I don't know what that is.
I've only been there when it was Energy Solutions.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm just happy.
Is that in between Vivint?
Yeah, you went Delta Center, Energy Solutions, Vivint Smart Home Arena, now back to Delta Center, and then I think the owner was like, maybe we should move the arena to Daybreak, out in like West South Jordan. I'm like, why would you move it out of downtown? Anyways, so that's the new drama. Is that
They might also bring an NHL team this
and might also bring a baseball team. That would all be cool.
And a UFC team.
Yes. So what's
Sorry, I was going to say the thing that I'm most excited about is the possibility that the A's might play their last year at like the Smiths ballpark.
Yep.
I want that so much more than our own baseball team. I would buy A's gear. I would it'd be so cool just to take the tracks down and watch a major league game for super cheap.
Oh man, I would love that. Yeah,
I feel like with the limited seating, it wouldn't be super cheap though.
Fucking
if it's in a small.
I don't know. I feel like
it's the A's.
The A's crowd that they had last year would fill up a quarter of Smith's Field if you put them all together.
I mean, dude, like it's gonna be crazy that like we can go see the A's play at fucking the Bees Stadium and Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah,
is gonna be there. We're just gonna be like, it's gonna be so sick. I didn't even think about that we could see Shohei Ohtani.
That's it, man. That's it. I'd be like, I want to see a Padres game. I haven't seen a Padres game in ages. This will be so cool. Do you want to see the Yankees? Do you want to see the Cubs? They're all going to come to 1300 South Salt Lake City.
And there's a great little bar right across the street.
Lucky 13 afterwards.
I'll go get a burger and then we'll just walk over and be like, yeah, dude, you guys enjoy Salt Lake?
I think I would spend my time on like the third baseline, like convincing the players to come to Lucky 13. I'd be like, hey, you know what's hot afterwards? Lucky 13. Great burgers over there. You should try one.
About time's pretty sick.
It's like when there's...
y'all got any about times in your city?
Didn't think so. The one in the gateway is so brightly lit, it sucks. But
They're
gonna go.
changing it. You know, it's going to become like an Irish themed. Or no,
what?
It's going to be called. It's a Scottish themed pub. They're going to be called the Bruce.
Oh well,
the Bruce.
Honestly, anything's better than what they got at the downtown About Time right now. It's absolutely.
Also,
horrible.
have you seen like comics at Wise Guys like on the weekends? Will like try to talk headliners into going to About Time.
It's literally one of the worst bars I've been to in all Utah, dude. Quick shout out because I'm from Provo. One of the best bars here is the Marriott bar.
In the hotel.
In the hotel. The bartender last time I went was this Vietnamese BYU professor who doesn't drink, and he was the bartender, and he had like no frame of reference for anything. And so
just pouring stiff.
So you'd be like, "Can I get this?" He's like, "I think people like that." Like they have absinthe, and I was like, "Can I get the absinthe?" He like opened a book and it was just like, "There's something I have to do for this," and he like pulled out this whole contract. Like it was so fun talking to him because he has like no idea what anything is. But I was like, "This is the most Provo bar in the fucking Marriott."
Yeah, that's cool.
So, anyways,
that's cool.
Quick little side note,
dude. We should do a show there.
At the Marriott?
Provo Marriott.
That'd be dope. They got conference rooms.
So what's the shortest time you've been employed?
I mean, I could say probably just that same Vivint job. Although I did have a friend reach out to me like after the pandemic, and he was like, why didn't you come be like my assistant? And he was gonna pay me, and I was like, that's really nice of you. That's a very sweet thing. And I think I gave it a solid 3 days, and I thought, I think I'm just gonna stick with being poor. I think I like that better than working.
It's awesome.
It's
It's
always
awesome.
better than working.
That is, if I have enough self-respect, I can not eat.
Yeah.
I cannot. I don't have to work. What kind of
That's-
job? Like, what did you have to do? Just like run around and grab shit for him?
No,
or-
I wish. I feel like I'm much better. Like, send me like on go for errands and stuff. That's fantastic for me. Keeps my mind engaged. Keeps me feel busy all day.
ADHD.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I did like event management stuff once upon a time, and it was the best. You'd be like busy. You'd work long days, but you weren't really doing anything. It was just like, go get some chairs. It was
Yeah.
all very solvable
Just
problems.
like this, go
I
here.
need this. I can do this. I got, and now I have a new job, and I got to,
Yeah.
But this was sitting in a windowless room by myself, like looking at papers and like retrieving documents from courthouses and
Oh.
making phone calls. And I could not motivate myself to do it. And I could not. It was like,
Dude,
oof.
there's so many things you're saying that is exactly how my mind works. Like, that's what I love about doing fucking valet. It's like, they walk out, I want my car. There's an easy job, go grab it. Here you are. But any like situations like that, you need to call this person, ask for these documents. It's like my mind's like, there's no way I can remember this.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, dude, I feel that way even I got like a stand-up show where they're like, you want to do like 5 minutes? And I'll be like, do I even have that? And then I get up, it's fine. But like there's a certain part of my brain. Like, how about, do you struggle like on a day off when you're like, it's the middle of the afternoon and you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's-
I get so anxious.
when I felt like my ADD has gotten worse every year of my life, and there was time years ago when I started to notice, I'm like, I can't even like do fun things. If I try to tell I feel so guilty about all the work that I'm not getting done, because basically for a long time I've just been self-employed. I've been a comedian. I started doing acting stuff, but that's all on you. That's like, you got to email people, you got to edit your videos. And I would be so mad at myself for not getting anything done day after day after day. But I also wasn't doing anything fun. I wasn't doing anything at all. I could spend a whole day thinking about a movie. Like, should I see a movie today? Like, even like I say, hey, you know what? I'm rewarding myself, right? Like a day off. Tuesday, it's $5. I'm gonna go see a movie, and I'll spend all day being like, do I want to see the 155? Because that time works better for me, but I don't like the seats. I really want that middle seat. But they have a 4 o'clock. But if I do a 4 o'clock, then that means I spend the entire day, and then like finally I take a shower at 10 o'clock, and I manage to get to the 10:25 showing of something and feel like, okay, I did something today.
Dude,
Do you get clearer at night?
absolutely.
Why does it take me all fucking day
Dude.
to finally turn on? And then I'm like, well, now I'm going to get some stuff done. Now I'm going to enjoy myself.
Dude, everything you described is exactly how my day went today.
Yeah.
Because I have a day off and I was like kind of feeling crummy. And tomorrow I'm doing a show, then I'm driving to LA. So I'm like, I need to have a day where I like just kind of just chill to like, so I can like feel rested for all. And like middle of the afternoon, I start like freaking out. I'm like, I can't just be watching these YouTube videos about the new Formula One season. I need to do, and then I'll start like going in circles. I'm like, well, maybe I'll go to the bathroom. In the bathroom, it's okay. Time stops in there. I can get on TikTok. I don't have to be anxious and worried about it. And I'll just do that until my friend was like, let's go eat at 4. I just kind of paced around until that happened. And then I was like, okay, now something's on the docket. But like, it's exactly how my mind works. Like the morning's okay. Afternoon, terrible. And then the nighttime, it's like, there's nothing to worry about now. Now I can be free. Now I can watch.
I can tell when you have
videos
a
about
day off
speed runs.
when I call you.
Yeah.
It's so like the difference is so stark because like when you worked for Amazon and we talk on the phone while you're delivering packages, I'd call you and you're like this, you're activated.
Yeah.
And I call you like tonight, like at 5 p.m.
Mhm.
And I was like, hey, you still making the podcast at 7? And you sound like you just rolled out of bed every time. And I'm like, oh, he had a day off today.
Oh yeah. No, dude. It's like, I don't know what the fuck is like, and it's what I love about ADHD. Like you look it up, you're like, what's the cure? And they're like, there isn't one.
It's actually small doses of meth.
And they're like, you could do Adderall. I've done Adderall. Hate it. I hate it because like I don't know. So it's like it's a fun world.
I'm experimenting myself. What I'm finding, what I believe, is like my brain needs some more dopamine, and finding ways to give it that help. Like as soon as like I'm a little bit happier, I'm like, oh hey, I could get something done.
Absolutely.
And so this, I don't know how long, but it's mostly been like caffeine is what I've been using. And like I got a pre-workout from a commercial that I shot. They're like, you can just have pre-workout. And I started taking pre-workout, but like they're not working out, just regular working, my little email job, because I finally like have some energy. But then this is my recipe for a perfect day is I have to have something first thing in the morning that I schedule, something that I can't get out of, that I can't put off or procrastinate, something like a little bit of work, like a phone call, or even like yesterday I went to my son's school and met with a teacher there first thing in the morning, had that. So I was like, I have to be showered, I have to be dressed, and I'm out of the house. And then I need something in the late afternoon, ideally, that's another thing that's scheduled. Doesn't even matter. It could be like a date with a friend or something, but something that's scheduled so that I know I have this window of time. And I can't just say, oh, I'll get to it. I'm like, oh, if I'm going to get these things done before 4 p.m., I have to start right now. And then after like whatever the other things I've scheduled, I can like do some more work. And then I don't know. That's how I get a perfect day.
When I think about the better days I have, it's like shit, like this whole like past like weekend, it was I was so busy, but it was great. Cause I was like, I'm doing like 3 12-hour shifts, I'm gonna make great money, and then I'm gonna come do this podcast. Then next day I'm helping my brother with this like film shoot. We just like bam, 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 bam. And then like today it's like day off. I can finally relax. The most anxious day out of all of them. Also, real quick question before we jump into these other ones. Do you feel? Cause I feel like it affects my stand up similarly, like the way I approach like jokes and shit. Like I have the hardest time just sitting down and just like, let's be funny now. I cannot.
I feel a lot of regret, and sometimes I feel upset because I believe I could be much better than I am in every aspect of comedy. Like in the booking part too, I could be better, but I could be funnier. I could have better jokes if I worked at it. And when I first started out, I was in college and things, I don't know, it wasn't as bad back then, but I did sit down and I would just type out jokes, and I did it all the time, and I would be particular about my words and stuff. And, you know, I think about the great people that I admire, and I know that they are working on writing every day, and I don't. And I want to be good. I want to be better. I want to write jokes. But yeah, man, it's like the only times that I feel like sitting down and writing are when I've done acid. Then suddenly I'm like, yeah, I would love to sit down. I've got so many ideas. I'm brilliant right now.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Let's get Drew out of here. We're best friends now.
Yo, dude.
Also, that bummed me out. That whole last part. That just,
don't worry, Drew. Don't worry.
Not writing, that bummed me out.
Well, dude, because I started when I was like 25, and then COVID hit like a year later. So fun. So like I feel like I started later when I got like all this ADHD shit was more kicking in. So like I riff a lot more on stage. I feel like then it just feels more natural. But like that's just where like if I don't like, I feel like my favorite kind of set is like when you got some jokes, but I'm going in and out of like riffing or like fucking with the crowd and then going back to jokes, because it's like I'll like look at someone's face in the crowd and I feel like I just have to like I'll just like forget. I'll just like stop everything I'm saying and just like I have to talk to you, or I don't know. It just like it's like because I know like other people don't like to do like talk to the crowd as much, but it's like it feels like a compulsion. It's like I'll just like see someone's face and I'm like, hey, what's up? Or I don't know.
It's a very good compulsion.
I like it.
Like especially like the shitty open mics where it's a bar mic. No one's like
really that's into the best way to
Those
do
are the ones where everyone sucks and then Quinn goes up and kills. Like is the only one who has a good set because
he's being nice. But it's more that just like I think that's what I liked about doing it at shitty mics. It's just because like it doesn't really matter. Like no one's listening anyways.
Mhm.
But I don't know. So now, but that just I was just curious since it seems like we're pretty similar.
Yeah.
If like
Really hitting it up.
Yeah.
I got a couple things that I could say. First, my experience on stage is different. I feel mentally well on stage, where I think the act of like being on the tightrope, no net, you're up on stage, there's 100 people looking at you, you have to perform. Because tell me this, are you good in a crisis?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's what I like about like doing crowd work or riffing, because it feels like my back's against the wall.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to make something happen. And that's when like the wheels turn.
I'm useless in every other situation, but in a crisis, oh my God, do I come alive and I can keep everybody sane, and I'm like, hey, this is fine. I'm on top of it.
This is
like,
literally in Rock Springs.
This is how I wish my brain could act all the time on just like a regular Monday. I wish that I didn't have to be dealing with like a flood in the basement in order to. I live in an apartment. I don't know why I use that.
Don't worry. Hey, that's happened to me. Been there.
And so there's something about like being on stage that replicates that. It's like a mini crisis, and I'm in a flow state, and I don't have ADD, and I am like the best version of myself, and I feel like really, really good. I'm like in control of so many things, and that's why I like being up there.
I think it's because the ADD finally has a place. It's like it finally has a spot to go where it's like, here we go. All cylinders are firing.
Yeah, here's all the things that you like, man.
And it just going, yeah. It's like that's why I like driving too, because I can always keep glancing at my mirrors, and it's like I feel like I'm just like,
dude, I find driving meditative. I love it. I love having a trip to Spokane or Seattle or something, and because it's a task that requires constant attention, but not like a ton of like it, and so it allows for my brain to unlock other thoughts while I'm checking my mirrors and everything else. I like process a lot of stuff.
No, that's where like ideas will pop up, because you'll just be like, they'll just cross your mind because you're actually like thinking and not just being like just sitting there being like, what do I do now? It's like, oh, I can actually, my brain actually can like just unfurl. Yeah,
that's what I like about my job right now.
Yeah,
because I'm driving truck, delivering tires, and head out to like Vernal or
when you sent me that photo, I thought you had like booked another show in Vernal.
No, dude, I wish. That was a fun
close.
Yeah,
I did have a job in Vernal.
But now you'd sit there driving forever, dude. I wish. I don't know. I sucked it because I had like bad ADD, but I definitely manage it way differently. Yeah, but like I'm so low I'm like low energy ADD. Like I can't focus on one thing, but like I don't know. I'm not like all over the place. But also like I was on Adderall all through high school, and I regret that. Like I think that's a terrible decision that my parents helped me make.
Oh yeah.
That they're like, hey, your son you should go on meth for 4 years, and
it turned out okay.
Yeah, it worked.
My son's mom has been talking about that like since he was like in 3rd grade, because she also like later in life found out like, oh, I have ADD, and oh, I got medicated and my life got so much better, and like I'm finding out the same things, and she's like, well, yeah, don't you want that for him? And I'm like, not really. I like also know so many stories, like so many kids who like got put on Ritalin and hated their life. My brother was one of them. And I just think school's not important enough to take that risk. I think like if the worst thing that's going on for him is that he's like having a hard time in class, I don't give a shit enough to chemically alter a minor. Like I think when he's in his 20s and he wants to be like, of his own accord, say, I would like to maybe try this and see if it works, and then my brain's a little bit more developed, that's fine with me. But like if right now, I would so much rather that he get a D in 5th grade science. Who gives a shit?
Oh yeah, no, dude, do what I did. Be 22 and be like, fuck it, let's snort some Adderall today and go on a jog. Like that's what you get to do when you're older. Is you get to say maybe it'll hit harder.
One thing, it's like I'm the only one of my siblings who didn't break 6 feet like in height.
And do you blame the Adderall?
Dude, all those years I wasn't eating or like drinking, like in those prime like growing years, because like it appetite suppressant, and so
not working now.
I didn't eat at all in high school, and so like I think I do blame that, but also like the other thing, it just like you can't be creative on it. It's like real like
it's very task oriented.
Yeah,
it's like do this, do this, do this. Like that's what I feel like when I would take Adderall. I'd just be like, well, first it would begin with like
that makes sense.
I'm watching like. Like a video about like logging in like Finland, and you're like, this is nuts. And then like after like an hour or two, it's like I feel nothing. I'm just like a husk. And so at least for me, like my wife takes Adderall, like it works a lot better for her, but I hated it. And that's one of those like fun realizations. You're like, there's no.
I would like look for reasons to not take it. Like I come to school like smiling.
Yeah.
And other kids be like, oh, Drew didn't take his pills today. Like,
really?
Yeah. No, I just like antisocial, quiet, didn't want to talk to anyone. I don't take it. Totally different person. Dude, like all day. And everything was so much better, but I cared so much about getting good grades that I sacrificed like every social aspect of high school just for the good grades.
No, it sucks. Yeah, no, it's crazy because there's a lot of kids like, it is actually, it's during COVID, there was a spike of people who just like started getting Adderall because like there was like this website that made it really easy to get.
Yeah, and now there's a shortage of it.
It's not as much shortage anymore, but there was a while like my wife, like you have to call like 6 different like pharmacies and they like would not tell you on the phone if they had it.
Yeah, they're like come in, maybe.
They're like, we're not allowed to tell you if we have Adderall. It was wild time.
It also is amphetamines. And so like as like a kid, I'm like, oh, this is something my doctor gives me. So it can't
it's all
be
good.
Like, it can't be bad. And then like now as an adult, because I always remember the first like 3 hours felt really good. I feel this warmth in my chest. And now as an adult, I'm like, oh, that's because I was high. That's what that
you're just high. No, you're just taking drugs.
Yeah.
No, dude. And then so like sometimes doctors, they don't know everything. So follow-up question, the vaccine. What do you think?
I am okay with vaccines. I got it.
You know which vaccine we're talking about.
Yeah. Well,
we're not talking about polio.
I'm talking about the same one. I'm okay with them. I got it. I don't care if you didn't get it. Like if you were like, if you didn't want to get it, I would be like, yeah, you shouldn't get it. And I did think like, I don't know, things got way overblown about like people that didn't want to get the vaccine. And the weirdest ramification, the weirdest side effect of COVID is that somehow we started talking about pharmaceutical companies as things that we should trust,
positive
or like that they were heroes. And I was like, they didn't make the vaccine for free. They got a lot of money to make that vaccine. Like they are the same. What are they? The Sacklers? Who's
Sacklers?
Yeah. This is like the time where like that show Dope Sick and like other documentaries were coming out about them. And then suddenly it went like, it should have been the moment that we all were like, this industry is evil. And instead we came out the other side being like, let's give it up for Johnson and Johnson. Everybody.
It's kind of like
they are heroes.
Well, it's like, remember like when the CTE shit was really kicking off at the NFL and everyone's like, fuck it. It was like, look how bad it's fucked up so many players' lives. And then the moment the season kicks off, it's like, love dude, football's the fucking shit, man. It's like it has like a similar vibe where it was like they were just like it was the narrative was getting really bad.
I never saw a Pfizer commercial until after the pandemic.
Ever. I didn't know that was a company.
I didn't know. Yeah. If you asked me in 2019, what is Pfizer? They make airplanes.
And then now you're like they're the Chiefs. Travis Kelce, baby. But no, it's a so I don't know.
I thought it was silly to like make fun of people that were scared of what was in the vaccine. They're like again, I said like, I got it. And I was like, I know that there's a risk associated with it and I'm taking that risk. And for someone else to go like, I don't want to take that risk, I think cool. And then there'd be another person who'd be like, what risk are you even talking about? Are you dumb? Just trust what Pfizer says. They wouldn't lie to us. And I think, what planet did we get to?
Well, did you remember when you? Because I got it once. I think I just got the first shot. Then I didn't get it again. But I remember like and you go in there like, okay.
I feel like then that's no good. Like that didn't do anything,
like,
right?
The booster. I never got the booster, but I remember they were like, okay. So when you get it, there's a little waiting area after you get it. You got to sit there for like 15, 20 minutes.
Make sure
to make sure that you don't have a blood clot or something, and we have to take you to the emergency room. And you're just like, yeah, whatever. But now looking back on that, you're like, yeah, that's I've never heard that getting all the other vaccines you grew up with, you know?
I know. I mean, I just went in and got flu shot and stuff. And like they do like, here, man, sit here and see if you get lightheaded or whatever. Like, I don't think it's that crazy of a thing, but it should be recognized that like that there is a chance that you could have a blood clot right away. That something you could have a side effect right away. You could have a side effect later. We don't know.
Well, once it came out, like for sure that it didn't stop transmission. Because that was the only thing that like I was like, I don't want to give anyone else COVID. Mm-hmm. But then once I found out it was all for myself, that's when I was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna get it.
I remember bringing that up to like my wife and my friend. I was like,
you don't want to stop yourself from getting COVID? You were like, I don't want to give it to other people.
If I was like 90 years old, I'd get it for myself.
You know, because like the rhetoric at first was like, if you get it, you can't give it to anyone else. Like, you know, like you'll get it and then you don't transmit it.
2 weeks later, they were like, actually
you can pass it. And I was like, so what is like?
And this is when they were only distributing it to like the elderly. Mm-hmm. Because like, you know, remember there was like only a limited amount. So like at first they were like, yeah, you can't give it to anyone else. And because at first I was like, yeah, we'll get it. Yeah. And then as soon as they're like, oh, it doesn't stop transmission. And then they were like, also, if you're like in your 20s, you're probably not going to die from COVID. And I was like,
here's the thing though, that what scares me about COVID is it's a weird disease. Yep. And we're not dying from it. But I was talking to my doctor friend the other day, and they think we will find out as we age that it's going to make the last years of our lives way, way worse. And this was coming right after I was witnessing a new wave of jokes. That's how I process all my world events. You know, through like I'm watching all the other.
Remember the submarine memes?
I just listen to comedians' podcasts, and I'm like, "There's a war in Israel." Like,
thanks, John Marco. I wouldn't have known without you. But like, I was hearing jokes that were good. They're funny. And they're making me laugh. They're like the premise of them all was like, we overreacted to COVID. It was no big deal, right? And then right after that, I talked to this guy who's like, no, it's going to be hell for this generation when we retire and stuff. And it's like, it's going to shorten our life expectancy and it's going to make the last few years of our life way worse. I don't know if that's really going to happen, but like, let's say it does. And then I was talking to an actress on a commercial whose mom still doesn't have a sense of taste.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
And I was like, when did she get COVID? And she said 2020. I was like, it's been 4 years in her taste. Because I know lots of people that like lost their smell or lost their taste or whatever. And that's scary. There's stuff that we don't know. So like, I would like to not get it. Granted, I got vaccinated and still got it twice. And I experienced the weird long COVID symptoms where like for months I was like walking upstairs and like gasping for air, and I'd be like, I'm in better shape than this. Or like I would just be sleeping all the time. And I'd go, I just thought I was like depressed. And then I realized, oh, this is what, like I was reading about long COVID and I go, oh, I have that. So I think it's a weird disease. I would prefer not to get it if I can avoid it. Dude, if that means masking up, okay.
It's just like any sickness, you know. Just like I don't want to get.
I don't want to get it.
You know what? On the flip side, of all this though, what I also really enjoy are like the COVID truthers who, anytime an NFL player gets injured, they're like, because he got vaccinated.
Yeah, when DeMar Hamlin went down, they're like, what was his vaccination?
And they're like, he's a clone.
They're like, people are just dropping dead on football fields all of the sudden. It's never happened before.
Dude gets his like knee dislocated, and they're like, got the vax.
Yeah, that ligament was a lot stronger before the vax.
No, so that shit still makes me laugh. But I am happy now that it seems like most people are like, I'm fucking over this. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's just a bad sickness. well, I don't. We're not. Like everyone's kind of done with it.
Also now it's like whatever variant exists now. It's like
they try
so weak.
Sometimes they try to hype it up like new variant, and you're like, no,
I know, but
nope.
like original OG COVID was the strongest. Like,
yeah, no,
it's gonna be like. Do you remember there were years when there was like swine flu or SARS, and they would make a big deal about it on the news, and that only worked for like 1 year because then no one you knew got it, and then like next year they'd be like SARS is back, and you're like, man,
that's what I thought when that's first announced COVID. I thought it was like, oh, it's like the bird flu. I remember that. That's gonna be. We're just gonna move off straight.
And then Rudy Gobert touched microphones, and then the whole world grinded to a stop.
No, that was one of the funniest tweets. Like, he's so good at defense.
I became a Rudy defender because I hated all the hate that he got for that, and people acted as if he invented COVID, like he was patient zero. It all started with him, and it's like when I hate it when I get sick and someone else I know gets sick and they get mad at me. And I'm like, I didn't invent. Like, someone gave it to me.
Yeah,
I didn't incubate the influenza.
Also, I didn't get mad at someone.
We're both victims.
So, dude, are you 12 years old, dude?
Yeah.
You can't sometimes you get sick. That's just what fucking. I had this friend of mine who like it felt like COVID. I don't know if it was, but he like because we were living together and dude, he like it was as if he'd never been sick before in his entire life. He just would walk out, and I had the same sickness as him, but he would have like. It would look like both his parents were shot and like his dog was killed, and he just was like, he's like, oh my God, dude. And like we went to take Dayquil, like just like the little shot you drink, and I do it, and then he does it and then just spits it out. He's like, oh, and I was like, I just like looked at him, I was like, are you fucking serious? Like just the texture. I don't know, dude. I was like, you couldn't. I've seen you do tequila shot. You can't fucking swallow this. And dude,
dude, one of the most embarrassing things ever. When Amanda and I were dating, I got really sick, and then she got me like this, like cold medicine or like cough thing, whatever.
Yeah, cough syrup.
Yeah, and same thing. Like I tried to put down, but came back out.
No way.
And dude, it was the most embarrassing thing because I'm like, oh man, I look like such a little bitch right now. Like she still married me, so she just does not respect herself at all.
Because I lost so much respect for him when he spit it out. You can't swallow cough syrup,
dude.
He normally can. He swallows cough syrup all the time.
But his dad wasn't here.
Yeah.
Dude. That's insane, man. You shouldn't have said that one out loud.
I felt like it was good content. So
I am happy you did. I'm happy you did, but
when we were little, my grandma would send us like vitamin C chewables. They were they were white and they were drawn like little oranges, and you chew them and they tasted like oranges, and it was great.
Like candy.
And then like I don't know, my mom tried to find us like more, and we never liked them or whatever. And one day she comes home from the grocery store and she's like, there's a new brand of vitamin C. See if you guys like these or whatever. And I wanted to know if they were good or not. And I thought I could probably get my little brother to try this. And so what I did was I pretended, I was like, yeah, dude, the new vitamin C's, they taste pretty all right. And so then he tried one, and it turns out they weren't chewable. You were just supposed to swallow them. And so he chewed it and like swallowed it down and immediately barfed up. And all he had been eating and drinking was goldfish and grape juice. And he just barfed up purple goldfish. And I felt so bad. And it was my fault. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't really eat it. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I thought it was chewable. I'm so sorry.
Oh man, dude, nothing like kid vomit, dude. Kid vomit is so aggressive and sad,
dude.
And purple,
dude. Purple goldfish.
All right, wait. One last thing about COVID.
Go for it.
The thing that I think about is that like the canary in the coal mine were movie studios. Because I remember when I thought it was like a nothing thing or something that was happening in other countries.
China,
you were hearing the news, it was like in Italy and stuff. But like MGM was announcing we're pushing back James Bond, which is a huge release that was like the trailer had already come out. It was supposed to come out not even like soon, but like months down the line. And then you're pushing it. And then like another movie studio moved another big movie. And they're like, we're actually pushing this back. And I was like, that's so weird that they're moving that back. And then and like a month or two later, we were in lockdown and we stayed in lockdown until June and everything made sense. And like our government was so unprepared. And I couldn't help but I was like, how did like Barbara Broccoli know before who was president? Was it Trump or Biden? It was Trump. It was like, how did they know before Trump? Like, why did we do not like the movies? How's MGM making moves before FEMA?
That's their whole because that's their whole thing is just we need people in a movie theater to buy tickets. That's their whole thing is just centered around that. And so for them, like, oh, this is I don't know, but it is crazy to see like a business is like more forthright. And like
that's what you got to watch for people that are self-interested. So now I'm watching movie studios. A lot of things are being delayed this year, but it's because of like the writer's strike and stuff. But I get nervous. I'm like, we got another pandemic around here.
Dude, my friend's from Florida. And so he's like, my standard is all because like I remember when it first began, he's like, Disney World's still open. Disney World's still open. I won't believe it until Disney World closes because they stay open through fucking hurricanes. And then they finally were like, we're closing up shop. He's like, it's real. He's like, it's a thing. And also, he was right. He was right because they will try to stay open through anything.
Yeah. Like, also, there's like no reason to think that the heads of state will like know anything about anything.
It's really
like,
sad.
Watching. Well, I mean, by like. I won't make fun. Like that's like punching down right now. Like it's just sad. But then like Trump, you know, he's like has this like confidence where he doesn't know anything, but then he'll like talk like he knows it. And there was a thing of his I saw like a couple months ago where he was at a campaign rally and like he talked to someone who knew a lot about like the digital currency that they want to pass. It's kind of like a creepy thing that the government wants to do where they can have access to everyone's currency. And it's just weird, but he knew nothing about it. And someone talked to him who knew about it. And the next day at his rally, he brings it up. And he's like, and I'm not going to let there be digital currency. And the crowd like, yeah. And you see on his face, he's like, oh, they know what this is. Like you can tell like,
well dude,
he's just like shocked. Like,
well, do you remember during like the first couple months of the lockdown, he was trying to like improv the solution.
Dude,
he was like, "What if we shine a bright light, like at your stomach or your veins or whatever, and then maybe you drink Lysol?" Like,
that's it. Yeah. He was like, "What about bleach?
Yeah.
What about it?"
And I did love that. He's like, "I'll figure it out right now." What are we doing? No one's talking about solutions.
The confidence.
That was great.
My gosh.
But
he's like, at least I'm trying something.
Yeah, exactly. He is trying, dude.
Here's the thing. In all honesty, I kind of like, I don't want it, but I'm like, I could go for another lockdown some point just because the best job that I ever had was pandemic unemployment. It was the most money I ever made from stand-up comedy was during the lockdown. And like I got out of credit card debt because of the lockdown.
Hey.
And every now and then I'm like, you know, if we could just, you got any more of that pandemic unemployment?
And in those moments, you're just like, Donnie T's giving me money right now.
He gave us more than the Biden-Harris administration ever did.
Did more was a more socialist president.
Well, dude,
here's the thing: if we could get, I guess I'm for Donald Trump winning. I think if we could get another run at Donald Trump, we did it wrong. And I think we should take some of the blame. We tried to shame him and we were like, oh, you're the worst president. And he just responded like this. And he was like,
you.
Oh,
yeah.
We came at it wrong. Mm-hmm. We all should have sucked up to him.
Yep.
We all should have been his buddy. We all, like all those bands who were like, we're not going to play the inauguration. They should have. All the coolest bands should have come to the White House and be like, Donald, you're so cool. And then all you have to do is be like, you know what would be really cool? Healthcare. If everyone got health care, dude, you'd be a better president than Obama.
Oh.
You'd be a bigger deal because he didn't even get it. But if you gave everyone health care, imagine all you have to do is stroke his ego. He wants to be liked. He wants to be loved. I feel like he could be putty in our hands. Dude. If we get him back in there and we just go, let's all, instead of protesting at rallies, go to them and be like, Donald, you know what the left doesn't want you to do? Oh, they'd be so pissed if you gave us all universal basic income. And you would do it.
I also was thinking though, all those people who like those bands who like protested the inauguration, I mean, it was kind of cool that they did back out and then he had to resort to the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Yeah, I liked that.
No, they're the coolest ones.
Yeah.
I've said the exact same thing for years as well. We're like, dude, if we all these like cool dudes, he's like cool like singers and shit. We're like, dude, you don't want to hang out with Chris Christie,
with the Nazi pillow guy.
You don't want to hang out with those bitches. No, dude, come over here. You can come hang out with Kendrick Lamar.
The second he has someone cooler to hang out with, he will. Kendrick will be in the cabinet.
Yeah, dude. No, it's we could flip him if he wins. We can flip him. We all just like, dude, you're actually pretty sick, and he's like, I am actually.
He would make decisions based on.
Have you seen his new shoes?
Yeah. Oh, he releases a line, like a new Nike, like Air Jordan line or something. Dude, it'd be dope.
He would make decisions based on whatever the last person he spoke to said. Whatever their opinion was, if he was going back and forth, whoever was the last person to talk to him, that's how the decision got made. That's a great president to have if you've got the right people next to him.
Oh, yeah.
If the last person he talks to is my pillow guy and he says, you shouldn't give up this presidency, man. You should storm the Capitol. Then you run into problems.
We go, Trump, you could be hanging out with the fucking my pillow guy, or you could be on a new episode of Portlandia.
Trump brings back Portlandia.
Yeah, dude, we're bringing it back. Fred Armisen convinced me in character.
Oh man.
No, well, so, I think we have one more question.
We'll knock out a couple more. You ever hook up with a coworker
while going cotton candy?
Comedians gotta count, right? I've hooked up with coworkers.
We'll
allow it. It's not as fun as like a place where you guys both have like a W-2, but
yeah. But I get it. That's fine.
I never hooked up with like anybody in a place of business, no like corporate that.
Office. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I did hook up with somebody who worked at Dry Bar, and whatever I'd be at Dry Bar. That was always fun.
Keith Stubbs.
Hot.
Dude.
Yeah. What's a conspiracy theory that you believe in that most people think is crazy?
I don't know.
It doesn't have to be
how many I believe in.
Crazy.
Listen,
out there.
Here's the thing: we hadn't got to how like my current job. I was saving it for the end, but because things are going so great with comedy, I started doing like Uber Eats stuff, and honestly, it's been great for my ADD, because I'd be like, if I go work for an hour in the morning, or if I get like stuck somewhere, I'm like, I go out and I work, for an hour and I come back. That's all great. And it's the kind of occupation that keeps you a little busy, and you're like, this is great. Task 1, task 2, excellent. But I was like, I'm got to make more money. And so I went into donate plasma, and I walked out of. I did not donate plasma because there has to be something sketchy going on. I wish that they would be honest. I wish that they would say, we're gonna make money off of your plasma, and we'll give you a little bit of it. And instead, they're like, all we do is save lives. Save lives. You're saving lives. All the posters are like, I donate plasma to save lives. And it's like, no one in here is here. The guy with the flat brim Cookie Monster hat is not here to save lives. Me and him are here to get grocery money, and that's it. And the fact that you guys, there's like an old dude in the video who's like, you say the medicine I need takes 19 doses of plasma. And what they don't tell you, I believe, is that man's 287 years old. And he's the CEO of Biomat Griffles. And we are keeping him alive with our blood. Another weird thing that is like, they won't stop saying how it's not blood. And they're like, it's not blood. We're giving you your blood cells back. We're just taking the plasma. And the more they talk about that, the more I'm convinced that there's something else going on in their little spinning machine to my blood cells. And I'm like, well, we're giving you blood cells back or whatever. So the whole thing felt icky to me, felt gross.
Yeah.
And I couldn't escape this feeling. It didn't feel like a fear of needles thing. It felt like there's something wrong. I don't like this place. I don't like the vibe, and I'm getting out.
Dude, I never thought about that, but like what you were describing with that old man reminds me of the old guy in Prometheus.
Yeah.
Who like they like keep alive so he can finally see the creator of mankind.
It's our plasma that's been keeping him alive.
The Wayland man is like, what secrets do you have for us? And the guy just rips him in half. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind funding that if they're upfront with us. If they're upfront with us,
If we
they're
knew
like,
where it was going.
like we're keeping alive. Walt
I
Disney.
bet the fact that they can't be upfront about it signals to me that something worse is
It's
going
like
on.
when I was I went to Six Flags in Dallas, and they just have like no safety regulations at all. So like my wife and I walking around, we see the roller coasters, like you'll see the whole structure like shaking. And I'm like, this just looks dangerous. Every ride looks dangerous. No one's checking if we have straps on every roller coaster. And we opted out on a lot of fun looking roller coasters just because we were like terrified of dying. And then we go into the gift shop, and they have a video on like every TV, and they're like, our rides are very safe. Contrary to what some people say.
You shouldn't have brought that up. I hadn't even heard what those people said until right now.
Dude, you guys are
Now I'd like to hear their side of the story before I get on this roller coaster.
And then I Googled it, and then like 4 people had died at Six Flags in Dallas because they flew off the roller coaster.
Dude, I love that. I love when they start talking shit. You guys are fucking idiots. No one's safe here. Those guys were just illegal aliens. But,
I talked to my friend after, and I told her the story about like I didn't feel good and I left, and then she was like, good, because everything we do in this world is a ritual, and you are literally doing a blood ritual to remain in poverty by donating plasma.
Dude, that's dark.
Wow. No, and I was like, you know what? That kind of vibes with the feelings that I was getting in there. And just because I want to be correct, I look to you as a person of authority. I think, yeah, it is a blood ritual to stay in poverty. And that's why I'm doing Uber Eats instead.
Yeah.
That's the ticket out.
Yeah.
That's upward mobility right there.
It's not
You're
a dead
your own boss.
It's not a dead end job.
I'm an independent contractor.
Yeah.
I get no benefits.
You know what's better than not giving blood? Putting a lot of miles on my car. And also my counterpoint would be, but they were playing Jurassic Park when I walked in there, and I hadn't seen it in a while. So I actually got to learn more about the artistry of that film. So by not donating blood, I didn't get to appreciate Steven Spielberg's masterpiece in 1993. Which what other Steven Spielberg film came out in 1993?
Schindler's List. I talk about it. Blows my mind every time. Jurassic
Park
Park
take place in cages.
Okay.
Well, camps.
So there's some weird similarities to those films that you start to figure out later on. But
just when people talk about like directors on like a heater, when they're like back to back good movies, you know, like who's got like the strongest 4-movie run or whatever. I just think there's nobody who's ever done a movie like Jurassic Park and then immediately gone and done another movie.
Wasn't he flying back and forth between the sets?
No, they had already shot Jurassic Park first. They were like finishing like the visual effects.
But in like Poland, where they're filming Schindler's List, he's working on like a really heavy movie that he's personally connected to, that a lot of his friends and family are personally connected to. They all wanted to do a good job. It's very heavy subject material. It's dark stuff. And he has to like get up early to go over like the CGI T-Rex.
Yeah.
And he starts to hate and resent Jurassic Park before it comes out, like just in the post, that he has to give some of his attention to Jurassic Park in the post that he wishes he was here on Schindler's List. He starts to like hate this fucking silly dinosaur movie, but then it comes out and makes him, a bunch of money.
And he's
I'm
like,
sure
you know what? It's a pretty good movie. No, also, I just love the idea of him like filming the scene in Schindler's List where they put all the kids on these trucks and they have them wave to their parents as they drive the kids away from the concentration camp, and all the moms are sprinting towards the trucks. And then later that day, he has to go and watch the dailies from the Jurassic Park where it's Jeff Goldblum like with his like leather jacket open and he looks all hot and sexy on the truck. And like I cannot believe that those came out in the same year, but how great for this podcast. Do we have one final question for Aaron?
Yeah, this is the final one every time. So one country, wipe it off the map with a nuke. Which country would it be?
America.
Come on, we can't do America. It's easy.
Yeah,
done it.
So
No,
yeah,
it's too easy.
It also has been said.
It's also the right answer. So
No, dude, there's other right
dude,
answers.
I like this place.
Come on.
I mean, it's not.
It's
definitely the most evil country.
Well,
but it's like I would rather live here than get bombed by America.
All right, I got one.
because, like,
I got one.
I got one. Easier answer than America is the UK. But also, the more fun answer is whenever someone brings up a brown country. That's when it gets fun for us.
All right, I don't have a brown.
You don't have. Doesn't have to be. I'm just saying when anytime someone.
I immediately was trying to think what's the smallest country, and I was like, so I did my Mormon mission in Italy, right?
Vatican.
And there's like, what's this place called, like San Marco or whatever? That's just like a hill, but it's like its own country inside of Italy. But then I immediately was like, no. The Vatican.
There you go.
Let's nuke Vatican City.
Think about the art.
You and Adam
We
Browd.
we would lose a lot of art.
Yeah.
That is
you
true.
and Adam Browd both picked.
But
the
if it's a
Vatican.
nuke, there's a big.
Well, they're using.
If it's a nuke, though, it's going to take out Rome. So you got to think about that.
Nah, dude, it's like the tactical nuke.
In this hypothetical, you said I'm nuking one country.
Yeah,
So
small
whatever
tactical
we're doing,
nuke.
we're doing a small tactical nuke that doesn't have any effect outside of the Vatican.
I like. Okay, no, it's a good. It's a diplomatic.
Adam
answer.
Browd has already said this one though.
He
Yeah.
did say that
Yeah.
one.
No, mine. I think mine was India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
Big
India's billions of people, man.
Exactly. Think about how good that is for global warming.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, give me the
carbon
argument.
footprint.
Yeah, carbon footprint's pretty big. Also, I think they have the most rapes per capita in the world.
also, yeah, we did Google. We were like, which country has the highest percentage of pedophiles per capita? Which also is a crazy study because I don't know how you get those numbers.
These are just people. People are just like volunteering. Like that's me. But
What about Dubai?
Dubai's not
Is it what
bad.
said
United
Dubai?
Arab Emirates.
Nobody
That's
said
I feel
Dubai.
like
That's a good
I feel like
answer.
the people most responsible for
Saudi
carbon
Arabia.
footprints are the uber wealthy, and you're going to take out a lot of them when you bomb Dubai.
no, that's a good
Saudi
answer.
Arabia, they're like a really evil
Exactly.
They're
government. That's
Not great.
No,
But it's just like I want to bomb a government and not all the people,
But that's the
right?
thing.
And so I feel like
I know,
the
it's
Vatican gives me the best ratio
best bang for your buck.
of
Yeah.
the evil people versus innocent civilians.
Like you're killing like a few really cool guys in the Vatican, but then
Yeah, but
not a lot of civilians.
yeah, yeah. So it's a good answer. It's a solid answer. But like I said, the most fun ones are the ones where you're like,
Well,
what? I can't remember some of the ones people have said.
It was. I remember we had Dennison on, and he was like, "You want my real answer?" And when you said that, you were like, "It's not a white country." When you say that,
Who is Dennis and what did he
He
say?
was a comic from New York.
Yeah, he was like he's kind of like a vagabond. He's just kind of like driving all the country, but he started in New York. But I can't. What country did he say? It was like, yeah, it wasn't white.
Was there some real
I
hate
think
behind
he ended
it?
up picking Iran.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, which
Why? I like Iran.
Well,
yeah,
they're having a lot. Yeah, they're having a lot of fun right now.
yeah. They're.
Dude,
I like what they do.
Dude, I just watched this. I can't really get into this, but I just watched this whole video about the Houthis shooting missiles at the cargo ships in is it the Red Sea or the
Yeah, the Red Sea.
and I guess the Iranians and Chinese have been saying don't stop doing this because it's affecting our trade, and like I guess it's China imports most of their oil from Iran, And so now the conspiracy is that the CIA was like, because the Houthis are backed by the Iranians, and the CIA was like, keep doing it. Keep doing that,
also
baby.
the Houthis have been like, they're not actually backed by the Iranians. They've been kind of doing their own thing for the last like 7 years.
Dude, there's other TikTok.
Yeah, where they get rockets from somewhere.
Yeah, Iran.
Yeah.
But dude, there's other, or the CIA. But dude, there's this other video where this girl was like talking about the Houthis. She's like, you don't want to fuck with the Houthis. You don't want to do that. And then all these dudes are like, they're shooting at the U.S. Navy. I don't know, like, I don't think they're not gonna win this. But anyways, it was a fun video, fun way to end.
But yeah, don't fuck with them.
Don't fuck.
I think that's the nicest war that you could have is like just blowing up Amazon packages. You're like, you're hitting them in the wallet, and you're not hurting anybody.
Well, dude, there's some like 19-year-old like a vaping dude like me who's just like, my drop shipping order just got pushed back by 6 weeks. What the fuck? That's who it's affecting.
Yeah. Well, dude, I was like listening to like a podcast recently where they were talking about like the corruption and like how these weapons manufacturers like Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, they're gonna get their money one way or the other. And this podcaster is like, well, if they're gonna get their money, could they just like drop the bombs like in the ocean? Like, does it have to be on people? Like,
Hey,
that's how you get a Godzilla situation, though.
Oh man, dude, -1.
Loved it. Cried.
I want to watch it. It sounds like
haven't seen it?
Awesome.
Dude, I saw it in color, and then I watched the re-release in black and white.
Oh,
Cried both times.
hell yeah.
Do you want to do a movie podcast, Quint?
I would. I could absolutely do that. Are you fucking
Just do
kidding
an
me?
ADD movie
Do you want me to list
podcast?
do you want me to list every Best Picture winner from 1989 till now?
That would actually be really sick.
Okay.
Real quick though, can I plug something before?
Plug it.
yes,
Plug
absolutely.
it.
I put out a special on YouTube. It's called Cry For Me Daddy, and it's by Aaron Woodall. You just type those things into YouTube, or you go to aaronwoodallcomedy.com. You can find lots of my stuff there. But I would be so happy to get some more views on this special. It's called Cry For Me Daddy. It's on YouTube.
We'll link it. We'll link it.
Oh,
We'll link
thank
it.
you. That would-
Very
that
funny.
would
I
be
watched
so
it
nice.
I'm
already.
saying it. I'm saying we'll link it. I don't know if Drew will,
I will. I'll remember.
but
It's all if
He
I
says.
remember.
real.
Did the camera go off?
The camera just died.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Dude,
But real.
I got that
Yeah,
in.
you got
under
it
the
in.
wire.
Dude, we'll cut it
now
out. We'll
now
chop
do the
it.
best
Okay.
pictures from
You ready?
1989.
89. Driving Miss Daisy. Oof. 1990. Dances with Wolves. Shouldn't have won. Goodfellas should have won.
Well, 80. Yeah. Anyway.
So that's 90, 91.
Driving Miss Daisy did it go
Morgan
against Do the Right Thing? in
I
89?
can't remember. But anyways, it won.
Anyway, Driving
No,
Miss Daisy shouldn't have won either.
Dude,
But
yeah, there's a
Dances
lot-
with Wolves beat Goodfellas. Are you
Mhm.
gonna give me the runner up for each year too?
Well,
That'd be sick.
for the ones I don't think I should have won.
Dude, this is insane.
No, 91. Silence of the Lambs. Good movie. 90,
That was one of 3 movies to ever win all Big Five. It
best
got
director, best screenplay, best actor,
Best
and also
actress.
it's the best. First
and
time
Best Picture.
it's the shortest amount of screen time it's been awarded for best actor because he was on screen for like 15 minutes.
Yep.
15, 20 minutes.
Uh huh.
But it's Anthony Hopkins, right?
The previous record holder before him was Marlon Brando for The Godfather.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Here we
Dude,
go.
I am
Dude,
so out of
dude,
my element.
92, Unforgiven. I've never seen it.
This
You never seen it?
No,
I like it.
I
like it.
Seems good. Morgan Freeman again. 93 comedy. Schindler's List. Should have won. I think Liam Neeson did not win Best Actor though. It was Tom Hanks for Philadelphia. I think it should have been Liam Neeson because like Tom Hanks was great in Philadelphia, but Liam Neeson it's his best role ever. 94 Forrest Gump should have been Pulp Fiction, but Pulp Fiction did win the Palme d'Or. So there you go. 95 Braveheart. It's Braveheart.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Whatever. 96. Everyone remembers this movie. The English Patient.
or
Dude,
you're gonna say Space Jam.
I listen.
My mom loves that film. I haven't seen it.
I feel like Elaine is wrong. Is that who hated on Seinfeld? Somebody on Seinfeld hated it. I loved it. I loved English
I love
Patient.
Ray Fiennes.
I think it's hot. I think it's romantic. I think it's epic. I like it. I'm a fan.
Okay. 97 Titanic.
Titanic.
I prefer, for me, I understand why Titanic won, but I prefer 7 Years in Tibet. Love that movie.
Never seen it.
Brad Pitt. He's Austrian. Awesome movie. It's like an epic. It's a great film. 98 should not have won Shakespeare in Love.
should have been Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah. And they got Best Director, which almost never happens. They split Best Director and Best Picture. 99, America's Favorite Actor, American Beauty, Kevin Spacey. Shout out. Great film, though. I love American Beauty. 2000, Gladiator. Don't agree.
You don't agree? I feel like it was up against like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and what was the third?
It's not a strong list, but I think Crouching Tiger is a better film. But
Gladiator's better.
Have you seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Nah, but
I'm a fan of both.
No, dude, I think you would.
I like both.
Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
I've shown both to my son when he was young. I'm like, hey man, Lisa, I like curated for him. Like, check, you're gonna love this shit.
Yeah, but Gladiator is iconic. So it's like, but Russell Crowe got Best Actor for that. I'm like, I mean.
Russell Crowe was great in Gladiator.
No, he's great, but there's other actors that are better. But then next year he won Best Actor for A Beautiful Mind, which then got Best Picture. But he's better in A Beautiful Mind. Beautiful Mind is amazing. 2002 Chicago, which is a fun movie, but I think there's better ones. I can't remember all the nominees for that year. 2003 Return of the King.
Nice, yeah,
that's
of course.
Great, love it, of course, amazing. 04 $1 Million
Baby, yeah,
which.
My brother was just talking about it today. He was like, "Should I buy this movie?" And I was, because we loved it when it came out. But we were like, in high school, and we were like, "This is the greatest movie I've ever seen." And I was like, it doesn't really resonate with me anymore. Yeah. When I watch it, I'm like,
no, I never saw it because like when some of these movies were coming out, I was still younger, so I was like, oh, and it was like rated R. My parents didn't watch rated R movies, so I was like, oh, so it's one of those I haven't seen. Hilary Swank.
No, there's no way the $1 Million Babies are, because I was Mormon teenager and I saw it.
Wasn't, but maybe it wasn't. I just never saw it. But 2005 was Crash.
Yeah, the one that everyone hates.
Yeah, it went over like Brokeback Mountain, and you're like, okay. 2006, though, incredible, The Departed.
Yeah,
love The Departed. Oh my god,
is that the one with Nicolas Cage?
No,
Jack Nicholson.
Dude,
I don't know what I'm thinking.
It's a Matt Damon, Leonardo DiCaprio. You'd fucking love The Departed.
It's one of my favorites. It sucks me in every time I see it.
You start watching a little bit of it, and you're like, I guess I'm gonna watch the whole film.
Yeah, it's one of these like great opening intros,
dude.
It's a really long it's a late title card.
It doesn't even say The Departed until 20 minutes in.
I love a late title card, and when you get that like what do you call that little zoom in?
Thing? When it's on Matt Damon on like the stair. There's so many like weird like transitions in it, and like it's like when you realize when you watch like a Scorsese film, like every scene, the acting, it's just like on another level, and like you believe it's so fucking good. And then
I think that I was also talking about with my brother recently is like, what's Leo's best role, and my pick is The Departed. I think we talked through all of them, we went through all the good ones and why this one, whatever. But for me, The Departed takes it for me. I love watching him just devolve, like come undone, this paranoia.
And then like the love interest he gets with what's her fucking name? It's like
I want to call him Milaventi.
No, it's like starts with a V. It's a
Vergara.
It's like something Vera Farmiga.
Farmiga, yes, thank you.
Dude. I've also said the same thing. I think it's one of his underrated roles ever. He's so fucking good at that. And Matt Damon's great. Mark Wahlberg won for that.
Yeah, he won Best Supporting.
Yeah, because he's playing a guy he grew up with. Like that was a cop he knew growing up.
Gingham.
Yeah, dude. 07, No Country for Old Men.
Nice.
Which when it won, there's no soundtrack for that film. So they just played some random song when they'd walk up to get awards. There's no soundtrack in that movie.
Dude, I've watched that movie so many times and I've never noticed that.
Yeah, because that gripping. You don't like there should be a song.
There's no music?
There's no soundtrack.
I need to watch some of these movies.
No Country for Old Men, you for sure have to watch one of the Coen Brothers' best films. It won over what's it called? There Will Be
Paul
Blood.
Thomas Anderson. Yeah.
So, but I love both those films. And No Country for Old Men.
And you know that they were filming next to each other at the same time.
Dude.
They had to delay shooting one day of No Country because of the clouds of smoke coming from Paul Thomas Anderson's set.
I have abandoned my boy. But anyways, you have to watch No Country for Old Men. It's incredible. Coen Brothers I love them. 2008, Slumdog Millionaire. It's a good movie. I would prefer Curious Case of Benjamin Button because David Fincher is one of my favorite directors.
And
except because I love that.
That was
movie.
the year that Dark Knight was not nominated.
Yes, I was really pissed about that.
That it made so much money. It was the number one movie.
And
of the
then
year.
after that's when they switched to 10 nominations for Best Picture
Uh-huh.
because they were like, we need to appease people, but really only 5 matter because if they're not nominated for Best Director, there's like no shot they're winning Best Picture. 2009, Hurt Locker, which I think is a great movie. Still think about it. I'm trying to think what Avatar was nominated that year, but yes, I like
Dude,
Hurt Locker.
I'm an Avatar defender. I don't think it needed to win Best Picture. or anything,
I get
but
it. No, hey, don't worry. Dances with Wolves already won Best Picture. It's the same movie.
It's not though.
But it kind of is. It's Pocahontas.
If we talk about like, oh, this movie has the same plot as another movie, they all do. We could do it with tons and tons of movies. What was cool about Avatar was never its script. It's
the world.
Yeah,
it's the word. No,
it's that like we spent a decade building the technology to film this stuff.
I get it, but I'm also like not into the whole like intertwine your tube together. Like, I don't know. I
think we need some more weirdos in Hollywood, some that have like the purse strings, and they're allowed to just be like, hey, I want to have a sex scene where they just tie their tails together.
Yeah, and then so I think it's a fun movie. I think like he's amazing at blockbusters. Like he's incredible at.
I respect the tech. I respect how it looks.
Too.
I respect.
Do you watch the Corridor Crew video effects breakdowns?
Experience like there are few movies that have ever gotten that feeling of awe and wonder out of me that like Avatar in 2009 did.
No, I know, I get it. It's hard to find. 2010.
I thought you were talking about The Last Airbender the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah. Dude, 2010, it's what's it called? The fucking The King's Speech, which I love that film, but it should have been The Social Network.
Yeah.
But I love The King's Speech. I think it's a great fucking movie, but The Social Network is one of the.
Speaking of David Fincher, I peeked at your questions. The GOAT serial killer has to be Zodiac.
Oh.
Ooh.
Never got caught.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably a serial killer out there that we've never heard about, and that's maybe the GOAT, but like
they pinned it
of the ones we know, it's Zodiac. It's Zodiac for sure.
You ever seen that movie?
Yeah,
2007.
I like that one,
dude. But
just saying years and movie titles.
Oh yeah, we got it.
You know, like the jokes, the memes about like guys will sit around and just name football players. You know, I do that. Just years in movies is really fun.
No. This was like my whole shit in high school. I had the.
My question is, why can't you do 98 or 88?
I don't know why. I just was like 89. That's when I started to care about this shit. I was like, I want to go too far back. I don't know why. It just started there. It was originally 90, but then I just had seen Driving Miss Daisy, so I was like, I'll remember that.
I'm such like a sports nerd. I can do this like Super Bowl champions name.
I know. Everyone has their own version of this.
Yeah.
But Social Network should have won.
2011.
2011. The Artist, which no one really remembers. I saw it in theaters, and they mean it when it's a silent film, like they meant it. And I went in there with like Rancheritos burritos, and I was like unwrapping them, and it is dead silent in there.
Dude, I cannot stand. I'm big on the movie theater experience, obviously, but like when people are sneaking food in, I respect it. I do it. Everyone should. But like, you can't tell me you can't time it for when like there's a loud part.
Yep.
I was at Broadway watching Drive this month, a movie we've all seen.
The best.
And there's a lot of quiet. And then there are parts where it's like, just wait, dude. You know the song's about to start.
Dude, that moment.
They're about to kick in Kavinsky, and that's when you crack open your Coca-Cola. Don't do it in the middle of the tense heist sequence.
That was a massive moment in my high school career, was going to see Drive in theaters. I just imagine after he caves in someone's head in the elevator, and that scene where he just keeps like staring and like slowly moving out of frame, and then you just start hearing someone like crunching on chips. But 2011, it should not have been The Artist. It should have been The Tree of Life, which is one of the best films I've ever seen. It's I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I saw Tree of Life and not Artist, actually.
Okay, yeah. Terrence Malick, but like Tree of Life is not for everyone, but like
because it's Terrence Malick.
It's Terrence Malick. Yeah. But I remember watching it, being like, I've never seen anything fucking like this. You would hate it. 2012, I think.
2012.
I think 2012 is Argo.
Yeah,
I think it's Argo.
It wasn't 2012.
I wish. No, but Argo is it's a fun movie, but like you're like best picture, like okay, but
Hollywood loves movies about Hollywood, and if it's about Hollywood saving the day, and if it's about Hollywood saving hostages,
they're like we did that.
It.
Iran,
they love it.
2013,
Zero Dark 30.
No, it was not. I think it was 2012 or 2013. It was nominated.
It lost to Argo.
No, I think so, or it was. I think it was Argo with 2013. Either that or it lost to 12 Years a Slave.
Man, you're so good at this.
Yeah, 12 Years a Slave is. I saw that in theaters. That was very uncomfortable, but awesome movie. Check it out. Steve McQueen directed it. You know that guy?
No.
2014.
Hunger, shame.
Yeah. Michael Fassbender. You aware?
Dude,
he's Irish, but also speaks German. He's in Inglourious Bastards. Have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
I have seen that.
Nice.
Remember the moment where the guy does he does this instead of this?
Fassbender.
Yeah.
That's Michael Fassbender.
Okay.
Anyways, he's in the new David Fincher film,
The Killer,
which I thought was good, just like an action movie from David Fincher.
I took it as a comedy.
Well, there you go.
I took it. I thought I enjoyed it a lot as a guy who just couldn't stop fucking up.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. You should actually watch The Killer. It's a good movie. 2014, Birdman, The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
Wow, way to get the subtitle in.
Thank you. Got it. Parentheses. I love that movie. I also like Whiplash a lot. I really kind of hate everything else Damien Chazelle has done.
Dude, I'm a Babylon supporter.
I'm actually, you know what? I haven't seen Babylon. Or actually, I haven't seen First Man, but after La La Land, I was just like, I'm done with Damien Chazelle. But
I saw First Man and cannot remember it.
There you go.
Never watched La La Land, but I really liked Babylon. I know it was divisive and people either loved it or hated it, but I was in the love it camp. I thought it was cool.
But like Whiplash was so fucking good. But Birdman, incredible. And Michael Keaton should have won Best Actor. I understand why what's his name won for playing Stephen Hawking. But I just loved Michael Keaton in that.
Dude, playing someone with ALS and not having ALS.
He was great. No, he was great, but
he had stolen valor.
Yeah, exactly. He's not smart. And but anyways, 2015 was what's it called? It's it's the black gay dude. Moonlight.
Great film. The controversial La La Land.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because it was La La Land. Like actually, it wasn't. It was Moonlight, and it was like, thank God it wasn't La La Land. I fucking hate that movie. Sucks, but Moonlight's great.
I liked La La Land.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
You liked La La Land?
Yeah, my wife and I, we watched it like for the first time ever, like a few months ago.
Dude,
I didn't get through.
I thought I would hate it.
If you like that, we some other musicals we can watch together.
Yeah, well, because I'm not into musicals.
But you like La La Land.
Yeah, well,
that's a very cringy
there was a
musical.
lot of not music in it. So for me, a musical, the less like musical.
But it is a musical.
Yeah, no, it is.
So no, dude, you're trying to say that like you're not gay.
No, I definitely am.
Just admit you're a little theater kid.
Yeah,
but I'm not a big musical guy, but I'm a big like Spielberg guy. And when like everyone on film Twitter's like, Spielberg's in God mode for West Side Story, I was like, I'm going. No, dude, I'm gonna go see it.
Nope. No, current Spielberg sucks. I'm not a fan of current Spielberg.
I disagree, man. Fabelmans stayed in my head like any other.
I hated Fabelmans.
I still think about Fabelmans.
No, dude. I think about how he was like, when I was a kid, I filmed my mom when she was naked pretty much. And look how cool that was. That is a very strange movie.
Dude, I mean,
the end of the movie too, he's like, just don't film the sky up. Like it's like I did not enjoy it. And it was strange the way it was I
feel like
framed.
I would love to change your mind about it. Not on this, because I feel like everyone, if there's anybody still here, they don't. We can have a debate on Fabelmans. Yeah, I would love to talk about Fabelmans.
We can talk about it because I have not thought about it since I saw it. I just remember being like, it was fucking weird. And I feel like he's lost his touch.
It's a confession. It's like too intimate. It's like I was like, I don't think I should know these things about you. I think it's crazy brave that someone also in like their final act of their career is going to make something this intimate. And he's racked with guilt. He's like, every kid's like, I'm responsible for my parents' divorce. And he was like, no, I really did. My love for film tore my family apart. And he's like, but I chose film over my family. And he has all this guilt that he goes through. And it's like the whole thing about the circus and the dreams. And
no, it just like when I watch older Spielberg, it just is better. Like, just like the directing's better. I enjoy, I love Michelle Williams. She's incredible in everything, but it just didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it because I feel like it needed to be more artistically approached than like, because he still approached it in some of his old like 80s Spielberg filmmaking, where it just like, I'm like, I don't know, it just didn't like the vibes just didn't quite mesh for me with the film style.
As a fan of Spielberg too, what a thing that I really enjoyed was like, it's this like skeleton key to all of his work. And you're like, oh, whoa, this, I went thinking like, oh, Fableman is a movie that he made about his parents' divorce. And then I left going, oh, every movie he's ever made has been about his parents' divorce. And
it's like, I appreciate,
it's cool.
No, I appreciate it, liked it. But I just didn't, I don't know, it doesn't hit for me. It's better than The Post. That's another Spielberg. So there we go. That's how good that one was. But and they nominated that for Best Picture. But okay, 20. Let's just go real fast. 20s. I'm trying to remember some of these years. I get a little more hazy on, but I think it's like, okay, I think 17. I'm trying to remember what 16 was. Whatever. 17 is the Shape of Water, which I liked, but I think Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri was better.
This is crazy because these are like not that long ago, and I don't remember.
No, it's 7 years, man.
It's a while back now, but you should. Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is awesome, and I also like Shape of Water, but Three Billboards is sick because I love that director, Irish director. I think it's like Ryan, something like Ryan McCartan or something like that.
I thought that everything that movie had to do with grief was amazing. Everything that it tried to say about race was clumsy at best.
I get it. I haven't seen it in a while, but
I cried in it. I liked the movie. I really enjoyed it. I just think that all of its criticisms are fair.
Now, like, which film would I prefer to watch every day? That film or In Bruges? In Bruges. Have you ever seen In Bruges?
I don't know why those are the two. Is that
same director?
Same director.
Same director.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And anyways, shout out Colin Farrell. Anyways, I think 18 is The Green Book, which I never saw. I think everyone hates. So whatever. 2019. I don't know why I get more foggy with the most recent years. 2019, it's like
COVID fog, man.
COVID fog. I've on COVID. 2019 is
no, that was the last time that like something.
It was
that was when Parasite won. Is it Parasite?
Was it Parasite? Because that was right before COVID.
Yeah, it was like the last
Parasite.
good thing that happened.
Parasite was awesome.
And everyone was like, I can't believe the Academy got it right. This is so cool.
Parasite was sick. And then his
Bong
speech.
Joon-ho was making his like statues kiss.
Well, dude, and then like I love his acceptance speech because he like shouts out Martin Scorsese specifically because he's like, there's one thing I etched into my mind about like directing and being creative. He was like this quote that was like, the most personal is what's most creative. And he's like, Martin Scorsese said that. Then everyone like stands up and starts applauding Martin Scorsese. It's fucking awesome. 2020 was Nomadland, which I saw. I thought it was sick, fine. And Frances McDormand won for that. And I was like, eh. I thought The Sound of Metal was better. Sound of Metal was sick. 21 was that fucking app? Was it Apple movie? It was like, I never saw it. I can't remember what it was. It was some like Apple film. It like didn't win any other awards except like Best Picture, like out of nowhere.
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
All,
man. You know what? I was missing
21.
2016 was Spotlight.
Yeah.
Good movie.
21, there's like not a lot of movies.
21
came
was a
out.
weird year. 22.
22 was Everything Everywhere.
No, wasn't that? Oh, yeah. Well, this was last year was 2023. Yeah. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Oh, yeah. Which I never saw. I haven't seen it yet.
Now, who's going to win 23 Best Picture?
Dude.
Go.
Dude. Wakanda Forever, Black Panther.
No,
actually, who was nominated?
Amanda and I just saw the Iron Claw. Did that come out in 23?
That
It didn't get nominated for anything.
No, my dad.
It was my favorite movie of the year.
Dude,
my dad
I was
saw
sad for days.
My dad saw that and was like, he had no idea what it was. He's like, I was getting kind of emotional watching that.
I wanted to trick my dad into watching it.
Okay, let's see what the Oscar nominees are for this year. I need to watch them all. But
also the trailer.
Do you know what I
did
would have
not-
picked instead of Everything Everywhere?
what?
Tar.
Oh, I want to watch that film. But you know what? I would have picked Banshees of Inisherin. I fucking love them. Same directors.
Uh-huh.
But that I just loved. Colin Farrell, I think, should have won for that. I thought he was amazing. But that's a great film. Banshees of Inisherin, super Irish movie, but I thought it was fucking awesome. So, anyways, the nominees this year: The Holdovers, American Fiction, Zone of Interest, Barbie, which I thought was fucking hilarious. I loved Barbie.
I walked out of Barbie.
Really?
I laughed. No, sorry. Not like I laughed the entire time. Enjoyed it. Loved it. Walked out of the theater. Walked immediately into the theater
Oppenheimer.
across. To watch Barbie again.
Yeah.
We were like, I was having such a good time. And I was like, let's just watch. Let's just go see. We'd kind of missed the beginning.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's just watch the beginning. But then we just stayed and we just watched and we laughed even harder the second time.
Dude,
Very
and
funny.
Ryan Gosling's the star.
I think Iron Claw is the only movie I saw last year.
Did you see
because-
Oppenheimer?
That's a pretty good
No,
one.
I didn't see
You're only going to see
Oppenheimer.
one.
Oppenheimer was. I liked Oppenheimer. I liked it because it's Christopher Nolan's most artistic film, but I thought it was good. It's a little sometimes I'm like I don't totally understand what's happening, but I liked it and I liked it. They had great performances and I just love Cillian Murphy. Irish. Okay, we got Poor Things, that Emma Stone movie, Past Lives, Anatomy of a Fall, Maestro, which I heard very mixed reviews about,
Mm-hmm.
and then Killers of the Flower Moon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've only seen Barbie and Oppenheimer, I think, because I've been behind. But I'm excited. We should watch all the Best Picture nominees, then we can debate them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love that.
Make a bracket, have a
yeah.
tournament.
Dude.
Zone of Interest, I am interested in.
Yeah, you would actually love Zone of Interest. Do you want to know
Dude,
the summary?
Yes, let's hear it.
I think it's a dude and his family. You're just looking at their life and like, hey, they're just living their normal life. But he works in a concentration camp,
And the concentration camp's like behind their fence.
and they like never show it.
Oh, it's
apparently.
like Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, no. Apparently, they never show what's
Yeah.
going on.
Oh,
in there.
they never show.
So-
It's just like his normal life outside. It's like he's
Okay.
just clocking into the job and go like, hey, what's up? You guys want meatloaf?
And so I had a professor in college who was very passionate against like Holocaust media. And at the time, it was an Italian
You
professor.
can't prove it's real.
And I
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I love Life is Beautiful, one of my favorite movies. She's like, I've written a book about why life is beautiful is terrible. And I'm like, what?
Mm.
And then I read her stuff and I thought, you've got solid points here. And I've actually never, ever seen Schindler's List. I don't know if I am going to, but like it's
you should watch it.
I do feel like the intentional decision to make a movie that is about genocide, that's about Holocaust, without showing any of it, is fascinating. I think it's correct. We're not going to like get any tears or whatever by showing people suffering, because like you can't capture the suffering of. What really changed it for me was when I read a book from a Holocaust survivor, not the Viktor Frankl bullshit where he's like, you can choose to be happy,
Mhm.
but like Primo Levi, If This Is a Man. And it was just, I'd never considered, because I'd only heard about the Holocaust from movies, but I never really understood what a terrible awful thing it is to do to a human, to take away their humanity like that. And I think the best thing you can do is like not show it.
No, I mean, I would say if you're a Spielberg fan, especially, you should watch Schindler's List because it's the best movie he's ever made.
I think I probably will watch it
Also,
someday.
No, you should. I watched it one time alone on Christmas.
I've never seen Schindler's List.
It's like, it really is that it's really that good. But it's like I think he handles it very well. And also,
he also had like connections to
the like the end of the
Holocaust,
film. It's a very interesting ending to the movie. It's like it's not like a normal. It's like it just goes to like real people at the end, like visiting graves together. And he
didn't take any of what he called blood money, which was another very important part.
Well, I watched like this guy who is French director. He directed Amour. He was talking about, I think like Schindler's List. I didn't like it because he's like, there's like suspense in it because there's a scene where like they go into the showers and they don't know if it's gonna be gas or not.
Yes, and that it's so ugly to use that as a moment of suspense. That's the same kind of argument, right?
But for me, when I think about that, I'm like, isn't that what they were feeling in those moments when they would like walk in there and be like, you don't know what the fuck, like you don't know what's gonna happen because they would see what's happening to other people. Like, isn't that kind of also building up similar emotions that they would be feeling in like the terror of that? And so isn't that what we're trying to convey in art and films, is like emotion that people could feel? So I can understand both sides of that, but I think that he handles it really well. Because he said he had to rethink making movies when he made this movie.
I will say that like Boy in the Striped Pajamas is like particularly ugly. Like Amanda made a joke about it, but like there's some truth to it. She's like, oh yeah, the real tragedy of the movie is that a little German boy dies. Like that's like they don't really pull on your heartstrings until like this innocent boy dies. It's almost how it comes off. Yeah. Like, so it's kind of like a gross movie.
No, there's because obviously there's that kind of normal like shock stuff that's like, of course it's sad. Like you're trying to make someone sad, but it's like there's so many amazing scenes in that. Again, obviously the whole film is black and white, but there's like this one specific section where there's one little girl in a red dress. And then, and then like you get to see
there's stuff that's like that permeates the culture that I know about Schindler's List. I've just never watched it.
No, I'm serious. Just watch it. Like if you hate it, but I would love to talk to you about it.
Yeah, I don't think I'll hate it.
No, but like, or to see if
I've been like, I've had the opportunity, and I've been like, I'm not in a place
just watch
to be this sad. Yeah,
but oh my god, well, my mom, because she, saw it in theaters, and the soundtrack. I mean, it's one of John Williams' best. It's unbelievable. Ishtar Perlman's playing the whole time. And I don't know what took over my mom, but she's like, I'm going to play the soundtrack for my older brother to fall asleep to. When he was like 2 or 3 years old, she would turn on the Schindler's List soundtrack. And dude, he like, at one point, he walked into their room and was like, Mom, I can't fall asleep to this music. It touches my heart.
Oh my god!
Because she told him a little bit about what the movie was about.
Oh my god! He'd be
trying to fall asleep.
I love kids so much.
Schindler's List.
I love kids so much.
And then my grandma, when my brother was like 7 or 8, like he was just him and my grandma. She was like, "You need to watch this," and she's like, and then just turns on Saving Private Ryan, and just has him sit there and watch the whole fucking movie,
dude.
So, anyways, fun shit.
Dude, you haven't seen Jojo Rabbit?
No, I know you love Jojo Rabbit. I've never seen it.
Have you seen it?
It's another movie that I think all of its criticisms are very fair. There was like, I enjoyed it in the theater, and then I enjoyed it less and less the more that I read about it.
Dude, here's my thing. I know a lot of people were sucking Taika Waititi's dick for a while. I'm just not hyped on him. Because also like I saw like Hunt for the Wilder People, and I'm like, oh, I like Wes Anderson. This is exactly what you're trying to be. It's like, and so like I all of his shit. I think his most iconic stuff is Flight of the Conchords, but I'm just not like blown away with him as a director. but like there was a lot of people for a while that's like he's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
It's happened to film, and it's like I like him as like when he's acting sometimes.
Mhm.
Like I watched What We Do in the Shadows recently, and it was probably a lot funnier when it came out. I guess some great scenes in it, but I was like, I don't know, I'm not blown away with him. Like
So, Drew, what you were talking about, Boy in the Striped Pajamas, similar kind of when you find out the changes that Taika made from the book that he
There's a
adapted.
book.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they're very like the movie on itself. I think this is fine. This is cute. This is moving. It is silly and it's funny. And then when you find out the changes and you go, those are peculiar changes to make. You're changing everything. But like in the movie, it's pretty cute and it's very short. It's at the end when the Allies have won and he kind of lies to her for a second about like, oh no, the war's not over, because he's like scared of losing her. And she's like, oh, little boy, I can see what you're doing and we'll still be, it's very cute. In the book, that's a major part of the book, is that like the German boy lies to her for years and because he wants to keep her captive and keep her hiding in his walls.
Holy
and
shit.
it's just like he just tells her that like, nope, the war's still going, you got to stay in there, you got to keep hiding in there. And it's not a cute relationship at all. It's very exploitative.
I did not know there was a
Yeah.
well, the movie did it a lot better because I felt great watching that, but if that was how the movie was,
dude, it kind of reminds me. Have you ever seen The Imitation Game? It's the one with like Benedict
Like
Cumberbatch where he breaks the
code, but he's gay.
Yeah, the whole thing's like he's gay. I guess what you hear about. Watch the movie. It's never really mentioned until the end of the film where they're like, yeah, then they chemically castrated him, but don't worry about it, and then it just ends. Like it's a major part of his life that they're just like, and I'm like, this is the most interesting part of the movie. Like this is insane. They chemically castrated him. But like it was odd because then like the writer was gay and he like talks about it. He like won the best original screenplay or adapted screenplay, and it was a strange film. Shout out Harvey Weinstein. I think he produced it. But anyways, it was that there's some movies where you know more about the story and then you see it, you're like, why was like this is a pretty major storyline that is just getting brushed over. But anyway, so it's the best piece of acting in the film is whatever. So
well, good thing we plugged your special when we did.
Dude, I was so inspired to do that. I can't believe
I didn't even know you had one. So look at that. Works on me. I'm gonna watch it. And I'm gonna critique the shit out of it. Get out those YouTube comments.
Right on the IMDb page.
Like don't put this on your letterbox. But no, dude. I'm happy. Happy you came out. But now we have to.
Anyone who's made it this far, where can they find you?
AaronWoodallComedy.com is the easiest place to go. You'll find all my socials and everything there. If you don't want to do that, then just type in Aaron Woodall into different search bars and see if I come up. But
Boom.
AaronWoodallComedy.com's got links to everything.
Not to be confused with the potential Aaron Woodall living in Australia looking for therapy.
Dude, yeah, I'm pretty bummed. I looked into that while I was in the bathroom. It's not Zoom therapy. It is in-person therapy in Australia that I have an appointment for 10 a.m. Australia time on Monday. And I'm like, well, darn it. I thought I was going to get free Zoom therapy out of this.
Just email them like, I just want to do Zoom, but I think I have COVID. And then they'll definitely let you do it.
And it's called employee, whatever. It's definitely like through this other Aaron Woodall's work that he's getting this therapy.
You should also do your best Australian accent through the whole session.
Every time, I have a terrible Australian accent, but it'd be really fun to just say, oh no. Every time they said like we diagnose you with bipolar, I'm like, oh no.
Dude. Is that the Babadook coming through the wall? Dude, it's like I love listening to Australians have like real problems because nothing sounds. It all sounds fake. So these two girls are fighting because like she was supposed to pick her like maid of honor, and she was like on a radio. She was like, I can't make it. I've got Taylor Swift tickets, and she's like, but are we gonna do this forever? And now I'm mad at you. It's amazing. I can't imagine like a diagnosis of cancer being delivered by an Australian doctor. But anyways, we should get out of
Yeah,
here.
let's wrap it up right there.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.